All right, everybody, welcome to the Aesthetic AF podcast. We are really excited today to get a chance to speak with Michelle Marlowe. So Michelle, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, get a little introduction from you. Give us a little idea of who you are and how you got into this industry.
Okay, well, unfortunately, it's going to show my age, but I'm Michelle Marlowe. I'm with Infusion Body and Skincare. I have been in the industry since 2007, so quite a bit has changed. I worked for a doctor in New Jersey, and my best friend was dabbling down here. I got to move back to Texas, and she said, let's just do this. So we started off with one room in 2007, and then we ended up being from one room. We had Metropolitan MedSpa, and then we moved all the way to 8 rooms. So we grew fast. We had some growing pains, a lot of learning lessons, and it was a lot of fun, especially to get to work with my best friend. And then when my mom got sick, I just decided that I was going to sell and just spend these last time with her. And then we sold. And then I had a non-compete, and I missed the business so much. Then I opened up a little place in Missouri City because I had a non-compete in Houston. So,
and so did you both sell, or was it just you selling your interest in the spa at the time in Houston?
We both did sell. She stayed in the business and ended up partnering with someone that had an interest in it. Unfortunately, hindsight's 2020. I should have just sold my part because she was still interested, but I think that she just thought it was the right thing to do. But, you know, communication's key. She's just a sweetheart and would give the shirt off her back for anyone. So she always did for me too. But she's still in the biz. We're both still in the business.
And what's your... or do you have maybe a growth plan right now? So if you're now back into it and you're building it on your own, what does that look like?
So ironically enough, my growth plan is very different where I scale my business, but I don't have employees. That was not my strength. That was not my strong point. You can ask my partner. Management is not my bag. And she would say, you can't say that to people. And I would say, what? And I found that working with people that either contract with me or have a split or rent a room just seems to work a little bit better. It's not for everybody, but it seems to work well for me. So my goal is not expansion, get bigger. And because we were at the point sometimes where we had 8 rooms banging and 3 of our SDs would call out sick. And they would say, always food poisoning. And I saw them on Facebook and Instagram taking shots the night before. So
interesting, food
poisoning of some kind, perhaps not food.
Exactly. So I just found that, you know, later in life, I'm just ready to simplify.
I like that. I think that's an interesting conversation because I think there's so many ways for you to scale or increase your revenue without necessarily having to go to expansion in size or multiple locations, that sort of thing. So I think it's important for the audience when they're listening that there's 1,000 ways you can grow. It doesn't have to look the same as what you maybe are experiencing or what you've seen. So I like that. I like that I have a new plan now and it's different than what it used to be, right?
Exactly. And it works great for me. And it's not to say that expansion and franchising, and go for it. Go for it if that's your goal. You just want to make sure that you're really concise on what your goals are, what you want your lifestyle to be, what your quality of life is. If making a certain amount of money is most important, or if working 3 days a week is more important. It's really just up to each individual and what their individual goals are.
Yeah. And those are really important conversations because
hugely. Yeah. I love that. Well, okay. So give us a little rundown of what you're doing differently over where you are.
Okay. So I'm not only someone that administers this, but I'm also a patient. So I don't know if you all have ever had a procedure that you were like, this knocks my socks off. I want to tell it on the mountain. Like, I am so excited about that. But that happened to me, and this is probably too much information. So we'll edit out. But I was in my early 40s and too young to be thinking about the things I was thinking about, like being in diapers in my 50s. So I had the Thermiva treatment and it was such a game changer. So everybody knew that I couldn't do the boot camp because I couldn't do a jumping jack or I'd have to go home. So when the Thermi came in, I got to be my first patient. And this was almost 10 years ago. And so it was such a game changer for me. I ended up going back to school, getting my Natural Women's Wellness certification. And I live by it. I love it. We don't talk about it enough. So many of us experience it. And it's just, it was such a game changer for me. And I love changing the patients' lives because it's so hard. They'll be like, I didn't even know this exists. I'm like, because we don't talk about it. So we do the Thermiva, we do vaginal rejuvenation that helps with incontinence, it helps with vaginal dryness, it helps strengthen that muscle, the vaginal wall, it helps really, it's an end all be all, it helps freshen up the look for people that are just looking for the cosmetics. We also do the O shot and the P shot here, and we do everything, I will say that, but our primary focus is more like women's wellness and sexual wellness.
Yeah.
I like that. And I agree with you. I think there's so many things in the realm of women's health in general, right, that just don't get spoken about, that there are starting to be, and there have been solutions for them that are maybe different than some of the old school surgical options, right, with incontinence and all of that kind of stuff. So it's nice to have it be something that's talked about more. I think it's important.
Well, and as I'm thinking about my mom and my grandma and the problems that they've dealt with after having babies and later in life. And it was just always something, well, that's just what happened. That's just what you deal with. There was never any thought that there could be a solution. And it also was not something that you talked about. It's something you dealt with privately and moved on from. And just now my mom is more, no, like, we need to talk about this. Like, we should all be talking about this.
I love it. Do you think that you made your mom more open about talking about it, or do you think she just...
Yes, I'm one of 3 girls, and I think the combination of all 3 of us have made her very open about all sorts of things. Because the conversations at that dinner table were all over the place, where it's, well, we can talk about that because that's nothing compared to all the other things y'all brought up.
I remember 10 years ago when I got into this, like, people were uncomfortable with the word vagina. And I was trying to say, well, that's the medical term, but let's try to figure out. I didn't want to be like, it's your flower or your hoo-hoo, but
that freaks me out more. Like, just call it what it is.
You're right.
Yeah.
I love it that you're with 3 girls, because I would love to be a fly on the wall. I want to take your podcast to your dinner table because I bet it was the best.
It would be hilarious and also probably get banned off of all the platforms.
You're like, what happened to Aesthetic AF? Like, that used to be here, and they're like, no, they got banned.
It has to move to HBO.
And that's what I always encourage. The things that I wish I would have asked my mom, just like, I'd never asked her about menopause. I didn't even ask her about her childbirth. The things I just wish that I would have been like, hey, did you have hot flashes? No one ever talks about the cold flashes, because I went straight to like being in a sweater with 85 degrees.
Yeah.
It is so important to ask those questions. And it doesn't have to be your mom. It can be your grandmother. It can be your aunt, or you can be somebody a trusted older person that I'm sure would love to spread that knowledge. But I love it that you'll have those conversations, because they're so important. Because we used to feel like we are the only ones that are suffering from this.
Yeah, the level of dialogue, I think, generationally has just gotten so much more open. I know my daughter's 17 now, and I know the level of conversation she has with her girlfriends that is completely, and I was pretty open with my friends as well, but it's to another level. And so I think we're moving in the right direction of, hey, this is just a thing. And if everybody talks about it, then nobody's by themselves. Nobody is feeling like, am I the only person? Like, my kids know the rule is mom doesn't like going on the trampoline when they were little, because I was like, nope, it's not a good idea. Trampolines are not for moms, at least not for this mom. right? And it's like, they're like, why, mom? And I'm like, cause I'll pee my pants. I don't want to do that. Thank you.
But the fact
Right?
that you shared the reason with them is phenomenal because our parents wouldn't even talked about it. But yeah,
No.
I can tell y'all I can do a spread eagle on the trampoline now. I can do herkies. Thank you, Thermi.
Yeah,
So,
that means I
but
have to
it's
get back
something,
on the trampoline with the kids. I'm not sure that I want that part either, but
right?
I see the
Like
value
the
of being
benefit,
able to.
at least.
Yeah.
I just have
Yeah.
to do it just because I can at this point because it's just so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. Very good.
Well, with those conversations just now starting to happen, I'm sure there's a huge educational piece that you're having to overcome and just let people know this even exists. So how have you done that to educate new people or get new people in that wouldn't otherwise even know that this was
So that's a
possible?
great question. And that's why it's really important to probably hire and invest in people like you that know the ins and outs. Because when I try to do it myself, I got flagged for pornography. I just say invest into a company. It's a tough one to do on your own because there's certain words you can forget it. For the men, you can do whatever. You can show a banana, you can show anything, you can talk about, but God forbid if you put a flower by a petal and that possibly looks like a vagina, you're flagged.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
talk about, so that's my one thing. I try to do it on my own. I definitely say invest if you're going to go this way because you will be flagged. Your Facebook place will be taken down. And it's been a really great learning lesson, to say the least.
Yeah. So have you found ways to overcome that? Or are you still exploring what your best options
I'm
are?
still exploring. We can all work together and just find it. But I basically find that Google, for me, what worked and has been my mainstay was Google AdWords because they were looking for that particular thing. So they were writing it. They were seeking me out. So I wasn't offending the masses by my potential vaginal talk.
Yeah. Well, and Instagram and Facebook are more, they're very strict with what you can say, do, show, everything. So, okay.
Yeah. I think, yeah, like looking at that, right? It's, is society going to catch up, right? Can we start advertising the things that are solutions for huge percentages of half of the population, right? And so we're getting there. They're just slow. I like that Google's on board at least and putting it out there. And Instagram's definitely possible. I've seen it done, but it just is.
You just have to
You have to be precise.
precise and then creative.
Precise is the perfect word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I focus more on the pain points rather than here's the after pictures or like that kind of thing. Because they're not going to
no after pictures.
No.
You get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually even stopped in our consent forms. They'll say we're going to put the before and after. I just mark that out and just tell our patients, like, you are welcome to take a picture. That way you have yours, but we're not going to keep it in our office. Just from, I don't want anyone taking pictures of mine. So
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. That's interesting. So how do you find that you are currently promoting yourself then? Do you find it's all word of mouth, or if social media becomes like a bit of a little bit harder, how are you doing that?
So I've been very fortunate that I have the most phenomenal patients that are not afraid to talk about it. They're very good friends to their friends because we're good friends if we find something that really works for us and that, eventually. So at this point in time, I've been doing this particular treatment since 2019, and I'm more or less on a referral base at this point. I'm just so blessed by I have the best patients in the world.
Yeah. The power of getting that personal recommendation, right? If you're intimately already having that conversation with whoever it is, that you're like, this is my problem, or I had this problem, and can you please, do you know how to fix this? I don't know how to fix this. And they can actually share that. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Is there anything when you think about business structure or anything, not necessarily from the marketing standpoint, but anything else that you have overcome in your business that you want to chat about?
Oh my goodness, so many things. How long do we have?
All day. We'll just talk all day.
Oh, good. Okay, so this sounds so simplistic, but for me, a to-do list. The night before, doing a brain drain, because you just start, I know if you ladies do get frazzled, I've got a million things. I've got a podcast at 11, but I got to do this, and your moms too.
Yes.
So, okay, I don't always do it, but I can tell you it is very successful for me when I do it. Before I go to sleep, I just do a brain drain. I have one little thing like this, and I do business and then I do personal, because I want to separate the two.
Yep.
And it could be as easy as I've got carpool, or I have to drop off a lasagna, or whatever the case is. And there's some things that are in your head and they're not pressing. You don't have to do them, like frame that picture. You're still thinking about it, but it's really, I don't need to frame the picture. So, but I don't care. If you're thinking about it, put it on the list. As far as my business, I will literally go buy alcohol swabs, go, whatever the case is, order more disposables, get trash bags, get wipes, like whatever you put it down there, and then start going, okay, so I put a P on priority. My first time when I first started doing it, I was like, I'm going to have really cute highlighters, and yellow is going to be urgent, pink is going to be can wait, and okay, I never can find the highlighters. So just put like a little initial, like tomorrow if you need to do it, or priority. And then that way, and I literally put it on my schedule, like going to buy supplies at 12. I think it's really imperative that you put yourself out for a lunch. Mark yourself off. You need that time, because if you were working for someone else, you'd be getting a lunch, you'd be getting breaks. So to-do list helped me so much. Okay, now with that to-do list, I have learned that I am not a multitasker. Multitasking for me is just doing a bunch of stuff that's really half-assed. So I learned that I've got to do one thing at a time, and then mark that off my little to-do list. So again, my to-do list is everything. So marking that off and then going to the next step. Now, I am not one of those people that can check my email and get the beds ready and fold towels, and I just got to do one thing at a time. Some people are different. My best friend, she can do 10 things at a time and do them phenomenally. I'm not that girl. So for me, to-do lists are everything.
Yeah.
What about y'all? What have you found?
Well, I love the idea of doing the to-do list the night before, because I feel like I always start my day with it. And I think getting that out of your brain before you go to sleep probably is so much more therapeutic. And it's okay, I know tomorrow is going to be taken care of. I can sleep without all of my things haunting my dreams.
Exactly. And do you ever find that you're like, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so stressed out, and then you get that brain drain, you go, okay, look, that can wait till next Friday. I don't even know why I'm talking about that, because that's probably never going to happen. And you start going, okay, I'm so stressed out about 3 things, and I'm going to knock that out first thing in the morning. Or you plan your day and you go, you know what, 30 minutes, getting up 30 minutes can be everything, a little bit earlier, and I'm going to knock that out. I'm going to send the emails. The other thing that I don't always follow, but I think that it is a phenomenal thing to think about trying, your most tasking thing, or the thing that you find so daunting, knock it out. Knock it out.
Eat that frog first.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just lean in and do that thing that you're like, the last thing you want to do, the thing that you want to just push to tomorrow's pitch, just do it first, and then it's done. Yep.
Oh, that's so hard.
Exactly.
It is so hard, but you have to really
Sam? Did you say eat that frog first?
Eat the frog first. Yeah.
I'm so stealing it. I love it.
Yeah, it is critical. I do the to-do list of the personal and the business stuff. Absolutely divide it out. And I would like to say that I live by my list, but I don't. It's still, I feel like if I get started on a roll of a list, it becomes like the next decade of my life list, right? It becomes something where the brainstorm happens and it's gone out of control. So I try and limit it a little bit to what do I need to do this week? Because otherwise it's, oh yeah, Cassie's college stuff down the road. It becomes crazy. So if there's anybody out there listening that does that, I will often say to clients, do like what are the big 3 that you have to get done every day? And just write out those big 3 that are the move the needle stuff, right? So if you write those down, if you complete those and check those 3 things off, that makes the biggest difference in your week. That helps too if you're a person like me that makes a list that's 90 pages long.
Oh, I love that. So you said do the big 3 each day.
Yep. do the big three and make sure they're the big three that are actually impactful, right? Because we can come up with a lot of things that feel urgent that really aren't, right? It's not the make it or break it things. And we find a lot with on the sales side for clients, it's like getting new people in or calling people and making sure they're rebooking their next appointment or whatever that looks like. That makes a big difference in a business. So making sure those things are done, right? The sales actions are often avoided by people. So those ones are big.
And do you find that when you do the big three and eat the frog, it just changes your whole trajectory of the whole day?
Yeah.
It is so insane. I have been trying to do 10 minutes and 10 and 10. Call people. Oh, this person said that you were interested. I'm just following up. And I don't know why we dread it, because we really need to look at it like you're helping people in the business every day. Like, what a game changer you two are. Like, you literally it's the difference between maybe sending their child to college or maybe being able to have that flexibility to go to the school play instead of working for someone else that you don't have PTO. Like, it's everything. So I do find that eating the frog first changes the trajectory, and I don't know what it is about the energy of just doing it, just one foot in front of the other. Like the thing you dread the most, let's just go for it. Let's knock it out. You're going to be happy when you're done, instead of eating the dessert first.
The dopamine hit of checking it off the list.
Okay, and I know you're younger, but tell me, on your to-do list, are you on your iPhone, or do you do it? What do you do?
I am paper.
I'm so shocked you're a paper, but how it is so empowering, that check, like, or that scratch. You're
or
like,
the strike through. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I tried all the different project management tools digitally, and we have one that tracks our long-term projects and all of that. But I still will take from that and make my own written to-do list, so I get to check it off, because I don't feel like I've accomplished it if I'm just clicking the check. Like, I need to feel it.
What is that? Like, it's just like the best. And I even get I'll just like, I'm crossing this off.
Yeah.
So exciting. But it's everything. And that's another thing, is that and I'm sure you do, and I hope you do, but I feel like celebrating your wins is everything.
Huge.
Yeah.
I don't care if I went to a man and a sales coach and a Sweat Hogs back in the day in New Jersey. And he literally said, every time you get a new patient, you have to go, yes, or, and it's just, and I know it just sounds so cheesy, but if you go in the mirror and you go, way to go, you did it, you helped somebody. And I really want, like, reiterating, that's a win for you, but it's also a win for your patient or your client, because you are helping them. And you really want to reiterate, you're here to either educate or help their business or help their vagina, like, literally.
Yeah. It makes a massive difference if you can. I will do like a wins list, because those days where it feels really hard and you're like, this isn't working, I'm not getting any new patients, or nobody's calling, the phone's not ringing, whatever that looks like for everybody, right? If you have that wins list of all of the things that you are accomplishing and all of the results you get for your patients, right? And you have that listed down, you can read that and be like, oh yeah, I am a badass. I am really good at this. This does make a massive transformation for people that transforms their lives, but then transforms their families' lives, which then like that ripple effect. We don't consider ourselves that impactful as often as we need to. So making that list for those days where you're dragging ass and you don't want to do it, or it feels hard, helps a lot.
Okay, this is the first I've heard about the wins list, but I love it, love it. Tell me exactly what you do and how you do it, and I'm stealing it.
You can do it two ways. So you can either sit down and go, okay, let's say for each service that we do, what do the clients get from that? So think through, okay, Georgia was in here last week, and what did that result for her? What did that mean? What did she come in complaining of? What were her issues? What was she trying to solve? And now has she gotten them solved? Or is she at the beginning of her journey of solving those issues? But if you make that list of all of the ripple impact, her feeling better about herself, her feeling like her incontinence is better, which means she's more confident, which means she can go out and do things and jump on the trampoline with her kids, or go dancing with her friends and not feel like she needs 12 pairs of underwear, or relations with her husband are better, whatever that looks like. If you can look at that and then like her marriage is more secure, her kids are happier because the parents are happier and everybody's getting along. What does that look like long term? It makes it a lot easier to pick up the phone and call the next person to let them know you're ready to get them in.
I have chills like that. Real chills. That is so phenomenal. I love it. We should all do that. I'm talking like people that are teachers that are like, oh, I have to, well, God bless them. Because
I don't know how they do it, but
I don't either. Right. I just in awe, but I think that would be successful for a teacher that is, I have the Sunday don'ts, or I have the Sunday scaries, or I have the Sunday blues. I do not want to go in my classroom on Monday. But the fact that I think of the teachers that were so impactful in my life, and I always want to thank teachers and like for what they do, because God bless them. I couldn't. Yeah. But I love this Winslet. I am so stealing this. That is such a phenomenal thing to do.
It's a good thing to do too if you've got staff or you've got women that are working with you, whether they're staff or not. But as a collective, to have that somewhere, like whether it's in the kitchen or the break room or whatever, to just have that on the wall to be like, oh yeah, this is a reminder of we're doing good work here and it's really changing lives. Most people struggle on the sales side because they feel like it's some sort of a greedy, like sleazy kind of situation that they're trying to get people to do something for money. That feels gross to people a lot. But if you turn it and say, no, this is what we're doing. We're changing lives. We're having an impact. This is what people are coming for. It becomes so not about the money and about the relationship and the outcome. It makes sales easier for everybody in an organization. So that can really change the trajectory of how people are thinking about it that are working with you as well.
Oh, it's incredible. It's so incredible. The wins list, I'm doing it today. And I think that would change the trajectory of everything. Like if you had a sales team, because I know some of my mistakes are like, we're not going to exist if we don't have sales. And that was where, opposed to this person had terrible acne scarring and the microneedling literally changed their life. Now they're so excited about their wedding and taking the portrait and going outside and not having to put 5 layers of makeup on anymore. And putting that wins list is really showing, because listen, they're going to do it. They're going to, do you want them to go with you that's going to really care about them and take care of them and have their best interests? Or because they're going to go somewhere. So they might as well be with you that has their best interests.
Yeah. Or they might not end up anywhere because no one has educated them on it. And then they just struggle with these things long term. So yeah, I think there's both sides of that.
You nailed it. And then we always feel like, oh, is this shallow that we're saying that we're game changers by microneedling or Thermiva or something? It's not. I've had these things done and they have changed my life in a profound way. Even microneedling, I was on Accutane twice. So I had such severe scarring all the way up into my 30s and 40s. But it does change your life. I know there's worse problems out there. I want to acknowledge that than my acne scarring or my incontinence.
But to you, those things are a big deal. And I think
and to a lot of people,
not you specifically, all of us, right, have those insecurities or things that are just like those niggly things in the back of our brain that are constantly telling us something about ourselves. And we as women are so quick to apologize for that, right? Or to make it small as if it's our issues are not important or not critical. And it's like, the hell they aren't, actually. How much more can you show up in the world if you're not worried about that little, whatever that thing is in your head, if you feel better about it, like that you're taking action to solve it.
Oh, you nailed it. It's so true. And I wanted to get back to women. I feel like we get this connotation about sales, like it is like we're getting showroom breath, like we are used car salesmen. We've just got this connotation that where this is where I love the wins because it does show the ripple effect of how we do affect people and their families and you feel better about yourself. But I think if we shift our thinking that we're not selling, we're just calling to see like how we can meet their goals, because sometimes we can't. I'm going to be honest. Sometimes
Yeah.
I will say, I want to help you so bad, but surgery is probably more appropriate for you because you have a prolapse that's greater than a stage 2 or. And I think that's really how we need to look at it. It's not sales. We're educating. We're trying to meet their goals, because guess what? If I can't meet your goals, I'm going to point you in the right direction to someone that can. And that's where making these relationships in the med spa industry, in the cosmetic surgeon, let's make these relationships, because I might not be able to help you, but I certainly want to point you in the right direction that someone's going to care about you as much as I do.
Yeah, that is so critical to build those relationships as business owners, to support you and to have somewhere to send clients that are just not the right fit for you. That assumption that I think all of us are operating in integrity is so true. There's always bad players in every industry. They exist. But the vast majority of everybody out in this industry are really doing this from a place of love and a place of concern and a place of trying to better people. And I think we can lean into that. Yeah.
I agree. I feel like as women, we can really embrace each other. I feel like we had the connotation that like our competitors are our competitors. And this is, what I have found in all my years, my competitors have been my best allies. We were like just having that conversation like, oh my gosh, are your employees giving you the blues like me? Or has this ever happened to you? I literally had this on an application. What are your requirements? And it was just meant salary, but they were literally said Starbucks. Like they wanted Starbucks in their place.
Oh.
I was like, okay, requirements. And it was just so fun to talk to my competitors about, are you getting these kind of applicants? And then we just had the best time. Oh my God, I ran out of Botox. Come on, just sell me and I'll have it at the front desk. Or they have been my best allies. Are you having a slow week? Yeah, something weird is happening. Just getting through. We had it where during the hurricane, we had one of our competitors where I had my electricity and they came over and used my room. Like they're great friends. They're great allies. That you don't have to look at them as a competitor, because they're not. They're your friends. They just happen to be in the same field as you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we need to like embrace that, right? That abundance mindset, that there are enough people that are out there seeking your services that if there's 5 of you all lined up in a 10-block radius, and in some cases that is exactly what it looks like, it doesn't matter. There are enough clients and patients out there that are interested for every single person. And it's going to be, they resonate with whoever they resonate with, right?
I love that you said that, because if you look at cars, if you go look at the dealerships, where are they? They are next to each other because they know. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And having that, and we are, 4 million? How many people do we have? We're the 4th largest city and surrounding area in the nation. So how many people do we have? Like, do you know?
A lot.
I have no idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like,
a lot. We don't have to have them all. We don't have the capacity to have them all.
No.
So there's enough for
you don't
all
have
of
capacity.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We wouldn't want them all because we can't have them. But I do think that we can either look at it like, oh my gosh, my area is so saturated. No, that means that there is more people coming to my area that is wanting to do this. And guess what? They might be booked at 1 o'clock and I have an opening at 1 o'clock. It's really it's our mindset is everything. Yeah. We can look at it like, how many nail places are out there? And guess what? I try to go get my nails done and sometimes they can't take me and I'm going to go to the next place.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same across the board, right? There's enough business for everybody, and having that in your head instead of I can't helps.
I don't know if y'all have my same grandmother, but she was hardcore and she was all about your attitude. And one of those people like, you're bored? That's not a word in my book because I will find you something to do. But I think that life's lesson is what she said. If you think you can, if you think you can't. And that is just something that we all need to live by, but I think it's everything. I think that if we think we can, and if we think you can't, I don't know if you looked on your For You page for Instagram or Facebook.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So me and my daughters did this. We were like, let's see what like mom thinks about all the time. And let's see about what this one thinks about all the time. And of course, I had a lot of aesthetics and I did have a lot of vaginas, I know. But I also had a lot of puppies. And then they were like, you watch a lot of puppy videos. And I'm like, they're so cute. But if you look at your For You page, it's literally like our brain. If you start like that algorithm is going to give you a lot of puppies. It's going to give you a lot of, but if you start looking at really negative stuff, that's what's going to be in your feed. That's good. It's going to be in your For You page. But our brains are that way. Our brains are meant to, well, one, they're going to keep us safe. So risk taking is a little bit adverse for us. So we're going to be a little bit uncomfortable when we do take these risks in business. But that's where we're just going to start journaling. I've done this so far. I'm going to take the next step. It's going to be a little uncomfortable. We're going to have that self-talk. Because if we're complacent, we're not up to our potential.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Wow. I think we hit so many really great topics. And thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you.
Today.
And I love what y'all are doing for businesses because we came out as creative people and we are 9 times out of 10, we're not business people. We want to help people's lives and we want to do our thing. But that's why I will say it's so important to invest in people like you because that takes it off our plate where we can be those creative people and we can help these people get back on the trampoline.
Yeah.
Well, this is my creative. So
yeah,
exactly. And you love it. Nothing sounds worse to me than that. And you probably don't want to be in people's business.
No, but I could market it.
We all have our strength in it. That's what makes this world go around in such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
So true.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you too for having us and doing what you do and keep up the good work.
Yeah. So how can people find you?
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm at www.infusionbodyandskincare.com. They can find us that way. And if they want, I can send them our app. They can give them $50 off their first treatment. And I'd love to talk to them. And everything we do is confidential.